Yo, what's going on, man? This is the BeBall Jones podcast. I am simply a basketball trainer with a basketball podcast. My goal is to present the game to you from a different angle, educate you with a unique perspective, and also change your mindset along the way. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy. Yo, what's going on, everybody? I have a lovely special guest right here for you all. I would like, Coach, how do you introduce yourself to people? I want to know, like, do you tell people off the rip, like, hey, I'm a coach and I'm a pretty great coach? Or do you just like play humble, like, yeah, I'm just here doing my thing? So, how do you introduce yourself to people?
Um, I always do go the humble route, but I am coach. That's what I get called most often. So maybe I'm coach. I'm
Mm-hmm.
also Nene. I have nine nieces and nephews. I have a brand new goddaughter. And so though that is it might be even more than coach a little bit is the most fun thing I get called. So other than coach, I'm a Nene to some not so little ones and some little ones. But yeah, coach is uh is what I get called most often.
Mm. I'm an uncle. I'm a two-time uncle, and I think I'm definitely biased saying this, but I think being uncle and aunt is better than being mom and dad because when I get
Oh
tired of
gosh.
them, it's like, hey, go back to your mom, and I'm done with you. Like I think that's the best because I don't
You
have
get
the
to have
full
all the
time responsibility.
fun. You get to
All
do
of it.
all the things that mom and dad are like, no, candy, uh, all of it. Watch whatever,
Hmm.
it's all the fun stuff. And then yeah, you take them back home and your work is done. So I
Yeah,
enjoy it too.
yeah, but I don't think that's as wide ranging as coach is because as a coach, you get to impact so many different lives and it's in a different way. So when you're coaching, you have a different responsibility on you. So, you have, especially in your position, you have parents saying, hey, you have my son or daughter, depending on the situation you're in. It's like, I'm trusting you to say what you said you're going to do on the court and handle them, the development off the court too. So, like, what does that responsibility and weight mean to you?
Everything. I don't take it lightly. I did a 180 in career. Maybe graduated college like '04, '05, and entered the working world and was just volunteer coaching on the side.
Mm.
And man, maybe 4 or 5 years into it, I kind of was getting a little nudge of like, man, I feel like this is kind of a purpose thing for me, and did a 180. Decided I wanted to get into coaching full time, and so making that transition in life is again the assignment of impacting young people's lives. I don't take it lightly. I think coaching is a ministry. And
Mm.
so it is, man, my job, my privilege to be able to impact young people's lives, and not just for 1, 2, 3, 4 years, but I tell kids all the time, like I want to build relationships with them where we're connected for life. No, it doesn't always work out that way,
Yep.
but that is the intent always going into it. Coaching is a lot of days a very small part of what the job is. And so it is, we talked about being an aunt. I'm a big sister, I'm an aunt, I'm a mother figure. um I am a counselor,
Hmm.
I don't know, all a bunch of different hats on the daily. And then we go get on the court and do stuff or watch film or whatever it is. So it is, I don't take the assignment lightly. I know the impact that coaches have on their players. I know the impact that coaches had on my life. Um, and so it is a tremendous honor, a privilege. And so I don't take the assignment lightly.
Yeah, I think that the life aspect is super underrated because, of course, you got to know the X's and O's and you got to know what you're talking about and everything. But you talked about being a counselor and being, big sis and being, a mother figure. Like, that's the part. Like, I'm a basketball trainer, so I can relate to that. And it's like, I love doing what I do, but it's like seeing the development from, man, I've had you for 3 years now. And when we first started, you couldn't talk to me at all. Like, you were just like, yes, no, and that was it. But now you're trying to
Yeah.
fight me during the whole session. I can't even get to the basketball part because we just cool now. So I
Yeah.
think that's the underrated piece that I think that parents don't know once you sign away, to the trainer, to the coach, like you sign them up to be a life figure, not just a basketball figure. And I think that
hmm
um,
hmm
that's why I feel like everybody shouldn't just coach, everybody shouldn't just train and everything because of what you just said. Like you're impacting people's lives. Like we have to be a little bit more strategic in who we allow to coach and train and be around kids
hmm
because it's like that means a lot. Like
For sure.
teachers in school mean a lot, but we impact their lives just as much. Well, not just as much, but close to that
Oh, for
because
sure.
we
Yeah.
have the same impact in their lives. So I think that
Yes.
that is a responsibility that we should have, and it's not like I'll just train kids on the side here and there. And I mean, you can do that, but like take the life part just as valuable, even more valuable because like you're having a very valuable impression on the kids. So I think that your mindset towards it is very respectable. I
hmm
appreciate that.
Nope, agreed. It's the impact is almost immeasurable. So it is, I mean, I'm talking about how we're ready for the kids to come back.
Hmm.
I see them every day. And
Yeah.
so it is you can't help or you I mean you're already forming relationship, but when you see somebody on the daily for 7, 8 months out of the year, maybe even
Hmm.
more than that. Um, it is you're impacting their life. They're impacting mine,
Yep.
but I know we are impacting their life because again, the coaching and all the other hats part of it is um, motivating them on the daily, challenging them, holding them accountable. All these things that we have to be consistent in doing it. Because for a lot of them it is they're depending on that from
Hmm.
from us from me to get them through a day, a week, a semester, a school year. And so and along, I mean, you mentioned parents. I think they're parents too. Obviously, when
Hmm.
they come to college, their parents are entrusting them to us and saying, away from the nest, you are somebody that's obviously highly influential on helping them form certain habits um, that are going to help them get ready for life after sport. And so
Yeah.
um, that part of it is yeah, we better be impactful and want to be impactful in a good way because whether we know it or not, we are.
Hmm. So, what has been your favorite part of coaching so far?
Um, the relationships. I
Hmm.
mean, I think basketball is obviously I'm a huge sports fan. And so being able to say that my job is um, going into a gym every day
Hmm.
is the most incredible thing in the world. And so that part I think is really cool. And then being able to every single year get a collection of young people together and just build relationships with them. I mean, even thinking back to playing, some of the fondest memories I have from my time with basketball, and not
Hmm.
just in college, AAU, in high school, were being with my teammates and forming relationship with them And so being able to foster that environment as a coach, kind of leading a program is the most fun part. Is being able to do that, setting a tone for, and I get called out a bunch because they do, what my energy says every single day is going to impact, um, how they deliver. And
Hmm.
so, that part's really cool. Wearing sweats and walking into a gym every day,
Yep.
and then being able to interact. And you talked about, seeing people grow,
Hmm.
um, is just the most amazing part about this. Being able to do all those things and do it with the in the context of basketball, I think is just the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah. Would you say that's also the most challenging part to the relationship building?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Because it is, um you go through the recruiting process, and you do spend time getting to know young people, but they are in their comfort zone, they're at home, they're around family in their routine that they've been in for uh 17, 18 years of their life, and then they come to college, and it is, you've gotten to know them, but now you're getting to know them in a whole other environment,
Hmm.
where they are now figuring out who they are. And so the person that we maybe spent time getting to know, they're still there, but man,
Hmm.
it's ever evolving. And so, there's that part of it. We obviously don't just recruit, high school kids. You got junior college kids, you got transfers that maybe that recruiting process is sped up a little bit. And so, then they're there with you, and it's like, well, we had some conversations on the phone, and sure, but I don't know you. And so now we're doing the work every day to, get people to trust you and get people to, um, really believe in, you as a person, and believe that you have their best interests at heart. Believe that you know what you're talking about as a basketball person.
Hmm.
Um, all those parts of it. Eh, Hold them accountable, and it's just like, so it is, for as rewarding as it is a process. um but I think that's the only way to do it. If it
Yeah.
were it's fake if we all get there and say, we love each other and we know everything about each other, so we're done. I've had players with me for 3 years, 4 years, and it's stuff about them that they may say something one day, about whatever it is, and I'm like, I didn't know that. And so it is. I think those moments are pretty cool too, because it is. I think,
Hmm.
relationships, just like culture building, like all of it is, a daily grind. But it's the fun part. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna have tough conversations. We're gonna have emotional conversations. We're gonna have fun conversations. We're gonna cut up. I love for them to come to my office, and we're gonna cut up and have a good time. But then they also know, because of the process of it, and just trying to be consistent in the ways, that we deal with them on the daily, that I'm in it with them, and I want for it to work. I took a, Strength Finders assessment recently,
Mm.
and where you kind of get back, based on answers you submit to these questions, what your top five strengths are in, like, kind of four different categories. I'll have to send you the thing. It was really cool. And my number one strength is a relator, and it's under the relationship building, kind of that little section of it. And my second one was belief, and it's under, like an executing thing. And so that's it. Is I want to create a product and a culture that these young people can come and believe in it. And so now it makes the relationship building hopefully a little bit easier for them. But am not afraid to do the work every single day. They're gonna get mad at me. And I understand that and I'm okay with that. But it's not going to change my consistency and my commitment to doing the work every single day to continue growing with them and building those relationships. And so I think when stuff gets built to last, it's not supposed to be easy all the time. And so if for sure is tough because again, you got 12, 13, 14, 15 different personalities, and you're trying to connect with each of them in an individual way and also in the context of team. And what works for one, and you know that it doesn't work for the next one and the next one and the next one. And so taking the time to continue to get to know them and know what speaks to them on an individual level. We tell our kids all the time the recruiting process is what it is. And nobody, my brother does an incredible job, obviously recruiting kids. So he maybe has a little extra whatever on it, but it's they're hearing some of the same things from all of us. And maybe they connect and the energy matches well with, somebody in particular. But we want to also, once they get to campus, continue recruiting them. And so to help the relationship building part of it. When they get to campus and 3 years from now, I want them to still feel as special as they did on that very first phone call when we're saying, man, I'm such a huge fan and I love your game. And now I'm a even bigger fan of you as a person. And I want them to still feel special, still feel wanted and needed in our program so the relationship continues to grow.
So you said a lot that I wanted to touch on. With the transfer portal situation, everything going on now, how how have you been able to manage that with a kid coming in? And I know in the back of your mind, you're like, okay, you're here for 3 years, 4 years, or do you still have that mindset with them? Like, how do you manage the possibility of a player coming and going so quickly now with the transfer portal being what it is?
Yeah. No, I mean, I think we, like I said, in the recruiting process, try and do the work that says, um, man, we want you to come to school with the intent not to leave after, a year or a couple years. We want you to stay. We know it doesn't always work out that way. Um, Especially when you begin to mix in playing time and
Mm-hmm.
people not always being happy and you've got roles and maybe everybody not being happy and accepting of what their role ends up being. And so it is again not the intent. We want them to come and we want them to stay. But we understand because we're in the portal every year, looking to maybe see what might be a good fit for us. And so we understand it's a part of it. It's the nature of the beast right now. And so we want to make sure that they are our players if they make a decision and want to enter the portal that they're educated. I think our school does a good job of that. I think most places do a good job of that where they've got to you can't just go to compliance and say, "Hey, I'm entering the portal." Like you've got to it's some stuff you've got to do um as you're getting ready to enter it. And so you're educated about the process of it. And hopefully their circle of influence is um kind of educated themselves on, what the process might look like. And so we try and do the work, like I said, but no, it may not always work out. And that is what it is. There's no love lost. I don't think we, without, specifically naming anybody, there have been instances where it's been a mutual split. It's been instances where kids have, decided they want to, maybe move in a different direction. Sometimes we've left on maybe bad terms, and um, then can maybe get to a place where it's okay. Because the one thing about the portal for sure, most often, most likely, is that if you enter the portal, that whatever coach is now looking at maybe bringing you on, they're gonna call your previous coach, and want to have conversation. We try and have really real conversations with our players throughout the recruiting process. And then even once we, if they commit to us and come to our school, we try and have really real conversations where you can't leave because and say, well, I didn't know what my role was, or I didn't know what coach wanted from me. Like those are conversations that we're having quite often. And so we want for and whether or not you accept it or not is on you. And we always say that as well, because this can be what we feel like we need from you, and it may not be what you feel like you want to give or what you are willing to give. And so at that point, then sure, try your luck somewhere else, and see if you can get something more out of the situation. But um, it won't be, you won't leave and enter the portal. And I don't think hopefully nobody's doing that, um, because you're uninformed
Mm-hmm.
about, kind of what your role is or where you feel your place is on the team. Hopefully, as coaches, we're giving that to our players, and then whatever they want to do with that ultimately is on them. So they're not leaving misinformed about where I stand, what we are needing and expecting of them, all of that stuff. We try and spell it out as best we can.
Do you think that dealing with the portal has made building relationships more challenging? Because like, do you feel like you can't be fully you and you have to hold back sometimes, or you have to bite your tongue on certain things when you're dealing with players because of the portal now, or is it like you recruit smarter or better so you just know what you're getting into?
Um, I don't think I'll ever be in a place where I feel like I'm not going to keep it real with a young person for fear of them leaving. I'm a firm believer that if it's not meant to be, then it doesn't matter what efforts I put into it,
Mm-hmm.
how I say what I say, how we do what we do. If their minds made up, then they're leaving. So I'd be doing both myself and that player and my team a disservice if I walked on eggshells for fear of somebody leaving. And again, I think we all know no coach should be naive to the fact that we're in the portal era right now, and
Yeah.
so some of it is just gonna be what it's gonna be, no matter what. I don't think it stops us from wanting to build genuine relationships with our players, and we're definitely I'm not going to walk on eggshells for fear of somebody leaving. It's their choice at the end of the day. And again, the intent is that we want for them to come and stay with us.
Mm-hmm.
I think the elephant in the room for it a lot of times is as well is that coaches might leave as well. And
Yeah.
so we are, for as much as we are asking young people to make commitments to us, um, uh, we're also, kind of sometimes might get caught up in an opportunity comes along that we can't pass up, or coaches get fired,
Yeah.
whatever it may be. And so it's some of that stuff maybe plays into it sometimes, but I know the way we do it is the intent is always that we're going to be here, you commit to us, we're committed to you. And it's I've not shifted the way I deal with or go into wanting to build relationships, um or just the way we do stuff on the daily, um for fear of losing somebody. If they leave, well, the recruiters in us say, well, we got to go find somebody else, and just kind of keep it moving in that way. But hopefully, we do a good enough job that It's we don't have to. And part of that relationship building process says, um, what you see is what you get. We don't. I know you've seen maybe those memes sometimes where it's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and so during the recruiting process, you're or the Incredible Hulk, you're this, and then when they get to campus, you kind of shift gears, and this big monster comes out. We pride ourselves on that. That doesn't happen. Getting between the lines, obviously, the intensity level goes up. But what they see, I am who I am. Um, I am, and I don't think I'm super old, but I'm 41 years old, and so I am who I am at this point. We obviously have to evolve with, you know, whatever generations are coming around, but um, so I'll adapt in that way just to try to stay in the loop of what's going on in the culture. But I am who I am at the core of the way I do stuff and how the program's gonna get run.
How would you describe your coaching style? You said you haven't had to adjust and change it. How would you describe your style of coaching and how you interact and handle, the players you have?
Yeah. I'll adjust now when I need to. And
Yeah.
I'll go into specifics of style, but I always ask my players anytime we meet, I always ask them individually what they need from me, and I don't ask it with the intent to not give them what it is that they may say they need. And so some of that is an adjustment. But if it's something that they say they're not getting from me that they need, I always start with me, and I'm gonna look myself in the mirror and be accountable to meet them where they are and give them what they need if that's going to help them be the best versions of themselves. And so maybe in that way, I think I'm a player's coach. I am as a player, I think is the experience that I draw from as a coach. I was a high energy player. I had a high IQ, and I was a really good teammate. And whatever, ever the team needed from me, all they had to do, my coach, say the word. If he said go run through, that brick wall over there, I wouldn't go ask why or how. I was running through that brick wall. And so that's I guess the environment I try and foster with our program is that I want to offer them the freedom, each player individually, to kind of come in and be unapologetically who they are, and it's our jobs during that kind of recruiting process to vet out, is this going to be a good fit for both the way I'm going to allow them to be who they are, but then also in offering certain freedoms and maybe specific things that we do offensively and the ways we want to defend. It's hey, we like people with really solid skill sets because we're gonna say, yo, go make me look good. But then there's a certain level of intensity because I played with that, that I also coach with, that you see it mainly mostly in practice, where it is they're getting challenged. I'm hard to satisfy sometimes, um, as a coach because I want for us to get it right. And so that is I can appreciate the effort behind stuff. So if there's a certain level of effort behind it, then I can deal with mistakes because then we get to teach and coach. So I need for people to come play for me that work hard, just naturally work hard. Because again, as a player, I did that without question. And so I'm often confused by when people step on the court and they don't work hard. Uh, that doesn't resonate well with my basketball brain. So that part of it, I don't like to coach effort a lot. If we're having to do that, well then they're not taking advantage of the opportunity. So in being a player's coach, though, I need for you to work hard, and the rest of it is we try and put a collection of pieces together, and offer them guides on both ends of the floor of, here's the ways we want to do things, but with the know for them that there's freedom in you being exactly who you are as a player. I have two rules for our program, is that we have to communicate effectively, and we have to be on time and stuff. So the communication piece of it, also as a coach, is I'm not afraid of kids asking why, or kids wanting to challenge back on, well, coach, I don't understand why we're doing it like this. Always, excuse me, always open to that kind of stuff, because at least that shows me that they're engaged. And so I'm here for a lot of that sometimes. And so if there's a little bit of back and forth, cool. As long as you get it, then we can keep it moving. So I love watching film with kids. Because there I think we sit around and can watch stuff and talk through stuff. Um, and so want for them to again almost take ownership of what we're doing. I taught a coaching theory class, and maybe diagnosed myself a little bit. I'm a collaborative coach. Because I accept and welcome input from my players on. I love it. Had a couple kids come in this past year, and it was, coach, um, we kind of think after we go through the beginning of this set, if we get nothing out of it, we can flow right into this action. Yes, let's do it. Because then I think the way they then go out and produce on the floor, if they're really engaged in it, the results are going to show that they're engaged in it a certain type of way. So I welcome that. I'm going to challenge. I'm going to push. I'm going to be intense. But then I also um am going to let them be who they are, and work through the growing pains of being in our system, and making mistakes, figuring it out, getting it right, um, and being collaborative, I guess, in that way.
So, what are some of the intangibles in your opinion that make a great coach? Let's go on the court, like X's and O's and stuff like that too, but also like off the court and the bigger picture of being a coach. What would you say like the top whatever things that make up a great coach?
Um, I think, in my opinion, a few things that come to mind on the court, is somebody that has a um, I guess, unique ability to motivate and foster an environment that breeds buy-in to what you're doing. I think we're in spaces where now, if these kids don't believe in what you're doing, it's going to show, and there's always going to be pushback. There's always going to be where you don't get the best out of them because they don't believe in what it is that's going on anyway.
Hmm.
And so if there are ways that we consistently show up every single day, with whatever it is. And I'm a corny joke teller. I try and, get to practice, and we're in our circle, and I'm going to tell a joke, or we're going around and I'm asking them, trying to little icebreakers, that, kind of start our day. But if nothing else, that's my little own form of trying to motivate them, and then we get going, and hopefully there's buy-in to ultimately what we want to do. I do think another kind of a must-have is you got to challenge these kids.
Hmm.
I think they're gonna say it all the time. I need for coaches to yell at me or whatever, whatever. And it doesn't necessarily have to be where they get yelled at or cussed out or anything like that. I'm not doing any of that. But I am going to challenge them. If there's somebody that I know isn't kind of living up to what that expectation looks like, well, they're gonna get challenged. They're gonna get called out in whatever the setting is of like, yo, we need more from you. That
Mm-hmm.
ain't good enough. Whatever any of that looks like. But I think it's they want and maybe hopefully embrace being challenged. And some of that maybe is the same off the court. I think it's um, they want to be challenged to again get the best out of them. And so if um, we got somebody that has a C in a class, we're not okay with that. It is you're being challenged, like, and not even just be okay with a B, like strive for an A. Like it's okay to do that. And so that same, I guess, challenging mentality we utilize off the court. Um, and I think it's just being genuine is another part that hopefully is what can be appreciated. Not trying to be anybody that I know I'm not, um, and just kind of breeding an atmosphere that says the way we do what we do, the way we love on you, all that stuff is really really genuine. And then just being comfortable and confident I think is both on and off the court. I think are things that are kind of needed as a basketball person in the heat of games. We're down three and it's a couple seconds left, and we've taken a timeout and advanced the ball. I got to be able to draw something up, and as I'm drawing it, I ain't erasing and pen hand shaking because I don't really know what's going on. Like it's
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna draw it up, and then I need for y'all to go out and execute it. And so hopefully, they kind of see that certain level of confidence in um the way we give it to them from a basketball perspective as well.
Yeah, I think it's it's funny when you see it on TVs and movies and stuff when you see the coach coming to the huddle, nervous and stuff. But in real life, that's almost a kiss of death of a coach, I think.
Oh yeah.
Like if I'm in a huddle and I see my coach tripping, I'm like, transfer portal looking pretty good right now. Like if my coach if my coach is not able to
Yes.
draw this play up, even if it's a
Right.
terrible play, at
Yes.
least be capable to. I don't believe in fake it till you make it, but at least fake like you confident and you
Yes.
believe in like right now.
Yes.
But you start shaking and you dropping the pin like you're gonna do this and you raise it like 10 times. Like hold on, coach, like timeout. Do I
Yeah.
need to take over real quick? I don't even know what we're doing here, bro. I need to take over. So,
For sure. For sure.
so I feel like that's like I don't I've never dealt with that. I don't even know if
Yeah.
I've ever seen anybody deal with that. But I feel
Uh-huh.
like that's like the go-to thing. That's
Oh
like,
gosh.
please just put down a clipboard, assign an assistant coach, and you just go to some counseling class of like how to be a
Oh
better
gosh,
coach because
for sure, for sure.
that's terrible.
No, I mean, and maybe this is another kind of intangible quality is I think we need to, as coaches, continue to be students of the game.
Hmm.
We shouldn't. I don't think we're once we get to a place where we feel like we know it all and there's nothing more that we can learn. I think we're
Yeah.
done at that point. So it's. I mean, I'm watching hoops all the time. My phone is full of clips from stuff I see on TV, especially that kind of stuff. Those last second after timeout stuff, where I kind of put it in the vault and maybe we'll go through it at practice, one day just to see, what it looks like. But that kind of stuff, I mean, it's we spend enough time watching TV, on our phones, on social, on YouTube, all of that, where
Hmm.
something should come across us on the daily almost that's like, uh-huh, I'm gonna put that one in the
Yeah.
bag and I'm gonna use it one day. So those are that's the part I think that we should never be finished learning and growing, especially in the X's and O's part, but then just in wanting to be really good leaders and stuff like that. We should always be soaking up as much as we can.
Hmm. Who are some of the coaches that you are learning from and you like that? Who's a coach that like amazes you? Like I thought you were a pretty good coach, but that move you just did right there just like bumped you up a notch in my mind. You already pretty high. So who's like a coach that you look up to and something that you're learning from?
um, I guess maybe a twofold answer. I've had the opportunity to work for and with some people I really, really, really admire.
Mm,
And I think they each impacted my career, just the way I do what I do, in just amazing ways. Tim Miller is high school, Hazel Green High School, is just an absolute legend in the game. When I first was volunteering with him, when he was at Bob Jones High School, and watched him, I've never seen somebody do more with less. And when
mm,
I joined, he's coming off winning a state championship. I'm sure a lot of people thought the cupboard was bare, and we were right back in the state championship game that next year. And it was with again kids that just bought into the way he was doing what he was doing. He was magical with the pen as well. Always drew up really good stuff, ran really good sets. Um, and was just an incredible motivator. Had a really good system of discipline in the way his program runs, and to this day is the same way. Um, Craig Roden, I worked for, and there was always a method to his madness, and so learned just kind of getting back into the college game. Learned so much from him, um, just from again getting a collection of kids and putting them in positions to want to be successful. Was amazing to learn from him. I worked for a female at Montevallo, Cindy Hilbrick, who was I it renewed my level of like passion for the game, watching the way she just kind of lived out her passion on the sidelines, on the daily. And then Scott Groninger at West Georgia before coming to PVA. I was with him for a few years. And now, fun fact, he was when I was in college at Bama, he was an assistant at Kentucky and drew up a last second play for a 3-point shot. I'll never forget the game. And so when we reconnected, that was the start of our conversation. And he was like, "Oh, yeah, that was me in that timeout drawing up that play." And so, just learned in a great he put me in the position to be ready to be a head coach, and I didn't necessarily think I wanted to, maybe
mm.
even, but the responsibilities that he gave me, and the um just kind of being able to implement stuff, being able to be just such a valuable part of what we did. He was helping me be ready for the next step, so super appreciative of that from him. I'm a big fan of Becky Hammond. So people that I have not worked with her for, I think she does an incredible job with a crazy amount of talent on one roster, and to see how
It's
she
crazy.
came in and just makes it work. Maybe shifted a few things and their tempo, and just kind of maybe things we talked about earlier where there's just a collective belief and buy-in into this is how we do it, and we're going to consistently do it this way. Where I think now players want to get better because I want to be a bigger part of it, or whatever it is. I think she's done an amazing job. I'm sure being on Pop staff had a huge impact on who she is as a coach. But I think she's done an incredible job. Um, I'm a huge fan of my brother as a coach. He's an assistant at LSU, and so I think he has a really cool mix of obviously recruiting, that part of what he's responsible for, but is always on the court with his players,
Hmm.
working them out, every position, and so is from a skill development standpoint, is I'm a huge fan of how he does what he does. Um, and so his motivation, I mean, obviously, the whole family became LSU fans over the course of the last year. And so it's as another coach, it's motivation to uh find success where I am. Um, uh, just and keep the wins in the family, kind of thing, maybe. So I don't have LeBron is I'm a LeBron fan, so if we call LeBron a player coach, then
Might as
maybe
well at this
that.
point.
Uh, so I am I've never had an NBA team. Maybe not now. I like Coach K. I was a huge Coach K fan. Really liked just kind of the way he did what he did with those teams with Team USA. Really liked him. I'm a Dawn Staley fan. I really like Dawn. I think she's
That's
got
the goat.
oh gosh, a cool mix of being cool and obviously having a certain pedigree from what she did and what she was as a player, and then making it work. I know what South Carolina was when I was playing, and to see now where she's taken that program is unbelievable.
Hmm.
And so I think she's one of those people that's like when she calls you. I know if she called me as a recruit, it would have been a no-brainer. I'm going to play for her. So I think for the culture, to see a black female doing it at the highest level, is something really, really, really cool to see and be a fan of.
Yeah, I'm a huge Dawn stan because just off top, like you said, she's a black woman, not just winning but dominating at the top.
Yes,
Like
yes.
she's like killing it, and the fact that she
Mm-hmm.
did it, player, multiple levels, Olympic, however you want it, she got it. Like WNBA, college, she gave you whatever, high school, she gave you what you wanted. She said,
Yes.
"All right, I'm gonna take this greatness, transfer over to the clipboard, take one seat over, and be a coach." She did it,
Yes.
and that's very difficult to do. And I think
Mm-hmm.
just off that alone, and the fact that she's like winning and doing it the right way, like you can't question any move that she's done, any dirt get thrown at her, she addresses it and she's straight up about it. Like she's
Yes.
handling. I don't think she's even close when you talk about player turn coach. I think you can put her on any part with any
Oh, for
sport, any
sure.
person. Like you can't touch what Dawn's done. Like so,
Yes.
she's like upper echelon, top tier human being. Like
Yes. Yes.
forever. So
Easy. Easy.
I want to get her on my podcast. When I want to put that out there
Oh
publicly. I
gosh.
want to get her on the
I know
podcast.
that'd
Like I
be
had to.
amazing conversation because she is.
Oh yeah.
She's the goat.
She's only had a handful, and I want to somehow creep into that handful that she's done. So I don't know how, but I'm just putting it out there so people know. Like when it happens, rewind this episode back, and I
Yes.
told you guys it happened. So
Yes.
I'm just
We're
putting it out
putting
there.
it in the atmosphere.
Yeah. So you mentioned the ACIS and LSU and the talented team that they had,
Hmm.
and I had this internal debate a lot when it comes to coaching. Do you say, because you're a coach, you can answer this, is it more challenging to have the talented group, the stack team? You got the Michael Jordan Bulls, and you got the Kobe and Shaq Lakers. You got the Warriors when Steph was really rolling. Like not even the KD level. Yeah, I'm talking about
Yeah.
before KD
Yeah.
was there. Like that Warriors. Or do you do the coach with the least? Like Pop has been able to do when with Eric Spoelstra's been able to do. Where it's more about the
Hmm.
culture and the team versus the talent. So which one would you say is more challenging and a little bit more like when you look at coach of the year, which side do you lean on when you're like, yeah, he got the talent of the team, it's hard to manage that talent, but it's like, bro, do you see he had like no offense, but he or she had scrubs, bro. Like, come on,
Yes.
man. Like, so which side do you lean on with that?
um, I'd say maybe the culture building one, where maybe the talent is maybe, you ain't got the superstars, the a stack team, the monstars. Because with that, you're supposed to win. And so
Mm,
it's surely you're not messing that up. It's you just kind of roll the balls out and they're gonna handle business with the other where you're getting the most out of what it is you've got. Even if you've got talent, I think it is that one it might be the most rewarding
mm,
because it's you feel like when you find success with a group like that you're getting the most out of from top to bottom. And there's probably a whole lot of buy-in into just kind of the overall system and the culture of stuff, where nobody necessarily cares who gets the praise, the accolades, that kind of thing. It's all about the team and what is it that I can do as an individual to make the team better. As a
mm,
coach, it's we're preaching that. Um, it's all about the team and anything individually that comes along as a part of it. Well, then cool, but you're only getting it because your team has done well. And so I think that one probably would be the most rewarding. Again, because if you got Shaq and Kobe, you're supposed to win a ship. If you're the Warriors in that dynasty, like you're supposed to be playing in the finals every year. And so, again, if I go back to my guy, the LeBron teams, I mean, it's going to the finals with some of those Cavs teams and that they shouldn't have been, maybe the East was, down, but still it's
mm,
I think those are some of the most rewarding ones because you didn't have a D Wade or a Bosh or Kyrie with you, those kinds of things where it's everybody kind of is bought into what do we I think maybe you mentioned it, the Miami Heat this year, even though you had Jimmy Butler who kind of began to and is more and more establishing himself. But I think it was, dudes are now getting contracts because they performed well on that team that just
mm,
kind of got the most out of um, each player. When they stepped on the floor, it was for the love of the game. It's got to be, and maybe they are playing, to see if I can get that next contract.
mm,
For that's why I think women's sports are some of the most unique in the world because it's such a small percent. Especially, there aren't very many Division II players that are going to play professionally. And so you're playing for the love of the game
mm,
and to represent yourself, your family, this institution, this program. And so if you can figure it out that way and it's literally based on just kind of your love and passion for the game, that's pretty special.
mm. I got to push back a little bit on that one. Um, so, okay, if you look at the team makeup and the DNA, so let's go as far back as Jordan, right?
hmm
Of course, they on paper are supposed to win. You got the best player, like okay, then you got Pippen, best 2-8, Rodman. Like, come on, man. Like, the three-headed monster is doing what it's supposed to do. What other coach and player would say, "Hey, let me go hit up Vegas right now. Hold on, bro. We got a whole playoff series, bro. Like, what are you doing? Like, who do you think you are?
Right,
Like, to
right.
be a coach to manage that, a player in the middle of a series says, "Yeah, I'm gonna fly out to Vegas. As long as you back by game time, we good." What? Who? Like,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
difficult to manage. Like the
Oh, that's
personalities of
different.
managing that,
That's
the
different.
egos
Yes.
to manage that. Like Shaq and Kobe were like this 24, well,
Mm-hmm.
not 24/7, but for the most part, they
Right.
they had a
Right.
very documented beef. How do
Uh-huh.
you manage the big kid that's like 7'2", 300 pounds, and the stone cold killer that just wants to annihilate anything and everything moving and break? Like they are polar opposites when it comes to their personalities. You're
Yeah.
supposed to make those two mesh together and like, oh, you're supposed to walk to the finals. Then you got this super talented bazooka of KD, Steph, and Clay and Draymond. how do you make that? How do you manage all that talent? So I'm not gonna say that managing with least is nothing, but it's you don't have like on paper you're supposed to win, and then you got to deal with the target on your back 24/7. Like
Oh
every
yeah.
game is a
Oh
finals
yeah.
for who you're
Oh
playing
yeah.
against. So it's
Oh
like
yeah.
that's why I feel like you have to put more respect. Like people try to say Phil Jackson's ring didn't count because he had it like it's handed to him. Like come on, bro.
Should have.
Like
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm
so
with
that's
you.
why I
It
think that.
makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense. I'd love to have a team full of I'd gladly take those problems. Give me some Shaq and Kobe, or
Hmm.
Clay, Draymond, Steph, and Iggy, all of them,
Yeah.
and we'll and then add KD. It's
Hmm.
I'd gladly love to try and work through those egos and figure out who's getting the ball and all that stuff.
Thank you. And I think that as it's funny when you see people on Twitter or whatever talk and or X, whatever it's called. I don't
Oh
care.
gosh.
But you see people like they try to clown and be like, "Oh, it's easy." Well, if you ask them, they'll probably take that team too and try to coach that than to deal with. You probably don't know one player on the team. You can only name Jimmy Butler off the Heat, and like the rest of them, it's like I seen him before. I think I seen this guy before. Oh,
Right.
he's in. I don't remember him from college, but I ain't seen him in the league. Like you don't even know the rest of the guy. So
At
you much
all.
rather take the KDs and the Steph
Mm-hmm.
Warriors and deal with that
Mm-hmm.
than to deal with
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of players you don't even remember
Oh gosh.
because
Oh
you don't know the
gosh.
game like that. So it's just silly when you see people talk about, oh, they're overrated. I wouldn't deal with them. I'd much rather be the coach them up team. And it's like, bruh, like, come on, man. Like,
Give me the superstars.
you take that every day. Only a handful. I think you have to have a certain level of something. I don't even know what to call it, but something to you to be like, I'll take that challenge over there too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not everybody's
Yeah.
built for that.
Yes. No, that's true. That is true.
So yeah, I think it's funny when you just see people on Twitter talk. That's why I don't do social media too much because
Oh,
I'm
you
just like, all
can't.
right,
You can't.
oh man. So when it comes to, I want to go back to what you were talking about earlier with, developing the players. What has been the most rewarding thing you've seen in your career that it might even be like a basketball thing, you know what I
Mm.
mean? Like just seeing this person transform from here to here or this player transforming from, you know, walk on or whatever situation it was to being this player. Like what was the thing that you saw that's just like you'll never forget that that's like the moment for you?
Man, I think it's stuff that happens yearly. And there may be few, some that stand out maybe more than others, but it's nothing like um uh having a player that comes to you that's kind of, maybe has a guard up, and it blossoms into now that player is, coming into your office on the daily, is to sit in there and chop it up with you before
Hmm.
practice or after practice, or they want to come watch film with you every day. um that kind of thing, and there's so many examples of that over the course of my career, um that it's kind of breaking down that maybe whatever wall maybe initially is there, and having somebody where you begin to see that they trust you and are kind of beginning to thrive in the environment. Those examples, again, I think it's quite a few of them to see players that are first generation graduates and their families, um, to see players be in environments that are way different than maybe how they grew up, but
Hmm.
come into an environment and find success on and off the floor. That stuff, I think is really cool to see, because it's that kind of stuff that hopefully helps them realize it as well, that if they can come into get out of their comfort zones, both with people and in places, and begin to let guards down, show their personalities, trust people,
Mm-hmm.
trust processes, all that kind of stuff. That stuff is I'm like smiling inside big time. Just thinking about, I mean, it's again something like that happens every single year.
Mm-hmm.
Every single year. And sometimes it's with more than one kid, sometimes it's with just one. But to have kids transfer to you and they maybe are coming from an environment where they um their experience just wasn't that great. And then they get to you and it's thank you for helping me love the game again, or thank you
Mm-hmm.
for um, helping me feel good about myself, my process,
Mm-hmm.
whatever any of it is. Um, and it's uh, again more a testament to the way God works through what we do, and not maybe anything specifically I do, but what we talked about earlier, just kind of utilizing the platform and understanding the impact that we can have.
Mm-hmm.
Just being consistent in doing that, but watching kids grow is unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. And again, the easy part's always basketball. I think the harder part is all that stuff. Where now, if and I told one kid recently, I'm like, now it's you're cool and we're coming in here. Now the next step is let's have the same amount of fun on the basketball court, and find some consistency in doing that. And so that breeds excitement for the next year. And so now that one is in a good space, and now what next kid is coming in that maybe has to go through their process of finding comfortability, letting guards down. Um, but that for sure. It's too many examples to name. And if I could name one from every year, I'd have, 12 or so examples of it. But that part is one of the coolest parts of this job is not forcing anything, but just watching somebody begin to find more and more comfortability in being because of being in your program. I
Mm-hmm.
think is one of the coolest things in the world.
So when it's all said and done for you as a coach, and if you do hit that point where you want to retire or step down, whatever you see for your life, or you know, what do you feel like, or what do you want your legacy to be when you look at your resume and you look at what I don't like to paint this picture sometimes when people take it
No, I
too
get it.
morbid, but
Yeah.
I think about when you're at your funeral and you have
Mm-hmm.
people coming to see you, and it's like the stories that they tell about you. It's like I and Coach did this, or Aunt TT did this. It's like you want to have this be your legacy. So like, what is that thing for you?
um, hang on one second because I gotta grab my charger so
Okay,
I can answer this. Hang on one second. Grab my
go ahead.
Okay. Um, so when thinking about legacy, it is I guess along the same vein of where we talked about a lot tonight is that um for every life that maybe has been impacted by me in the context of being their coach, being whatever it is that I get called at that point in life,
Hmm.
um, is that they feel like it was a really genuine and fulfilling experience, and that um, it I really took the time to grow solid, genuine relationships with every young person that came through our program, every coach I had the opportunity to work with. That um, it was again, the work got done every single day to just form really solid relationships with people. Um, I think we are put on this earth um, to build community with people, with each other, and do that with just an unbelievable amount of love. I think the first commandment, obviously, is that we love God with everything we've got, and then right after that is that we're supposed to love our neighbor as ourselves. And so that's something I hold on to in that, man, if somebody meets me, comes in contact with me, or I see them every single day over the course of a school year, did they see a certain level of just like godly love, um, feel that from me every single day, and hopefully it's that, and that it they know it came from a really genuine place. Is for sure what kind of legacy I want to leave with. I know my nieces and nephews feel it, because whatever they want, they know they can always get it. And so my players, again, staff that I work with, people just in the school community, surrounding community that I come in contact with on a regular basis, just that if my biggest strength is being a relator, well then I want to live that out just in an amazing way, and do the work to build just solid relationships with people, and not have a lot of um, uh, interactions or relationships that develop just be transactional. And I know that's tough in this business because
Hmm.
it's a really transactional place. But even in maybe something that started out as a transaction, does it then grow into something? And even if it was just a few whatever interactions, do you leave feeling like, man, um, if she and I were friends or connected in some sort of way, I think it'd be really cool. That kind of thing. And for the people that again I know that I deal with on the regular, hopefully in ways that hopefully they feel like interactions help them be the best versions of themselves. Friends, players, colleagues. Um, what is if I'm not um, seeing something in you and then wanting to challenge you to be the best version of that, then I'm missing maybe an opportunity. And so want to take advantage of every single opportunity to again maybe back to the beginning, be impactful and do it in a genuine way, and lead with love, and always start there and let that be my guide.
I can tell you're in the right profession because you not only are you like, just from what I can see, like you're genuine with what you do, but you also have a thing for the collection, for the group. It's not just about you. It's not might even about you at all, but you have a thing for the people. You're key on team. You're key on we. And I think that with you being the leader of your group, if you can emphasize that and display that, then it's easier to get that from the team and from
Yeah.
whoever's following you. So you're definitely like in the right field because you know how sometimes you talk to coach and it's like, you know the X's and O's, bro, but a couple other boxes you ain't checking. But
I get it. I get
yeah,
it. Thank you for
so
that.
I think
Thank
you
you
do
for
have
that.
that. So, but yeah, this has been a good one. We didn't. I thought we were gonna get a little bit more like X and O stuff and a little bit more game drop, but I think this is still a good quality episode here. So
Yes.
I like
Let's
this.
talk hoops now. What we doing? It's now we I again I think basketball is always the icing on the cake for all the other parts of it. So I'm still a hoop head now. But we the all the other work has been a lot of um what the maybe the mission has been here, especially at PBA so far. But you stay tuned in to us because we're trending in a pretty good direction. We've got some talent and excited to see that talent shine on the floor this upcoming year.
Hmm.
We're excited about our group. We got a cool mix of uh, veteran kids, some old heads that have been with me for a few years now, and then some young babies coming in that we're really excited about. That I think will keep us all on our toes and keep the energy really high every day, and uh, hopefully go make some noise. We're playing a tough league down here. And so every good thing we get, we earned it for sure, because nobody's giving us anything.
Hmm. So what do you see for yourself and the team this year? Are you gonna stamp or solidify some championship things, or you trying to chill and you just like, you know, we're just gonna work for what we have? Like, what energy are you coming into this season with, Coach? We need to hear that right here.
With big energy. It's our goal going into and last year was that way. We now we want to be a top 14 in our league. We got 11 teams in our league. Top 8 make the conference tournament, top 4 host. And so that's the goal is we want to host a conference tournament game. I think the coolest thing about being at PBA is that a lot of the really good things that we do is going to be the first time it's been done here. And so, COVID year, everybody that participated that year participated in the conference tournament. And it was obviously a very truncated season, but so we were going to make it regardless. So it was the first
Mm,
time in school history, but it's kind of an asterisk beside it. And so we
yeah.
missed it by a game last year. And so that's the goal. We want to make history and be the first team um, to in a un kind of asterisk season to make the conference tournament in PBA women's basketball history, and that's huge. And so that's at the top of our list is to be a top 14 in our league,
Hmm.
host a conference tournament game, um, and again win totals, all of it. We're going to make history when we do it. And so I've got another big one that is kind of has a spiritual um connection to it. I'm gonna save it because I've said it out loud to one person. I shared it with one of my players. But I'm gonna circle back and I'm gonna share it with the world when I feel like the time is right.
Okay.
It's connected to kind of number of years been here, going into year 6 down here, and so
Congrats.
thank you. The longest I've ever been anywhere, and so
Hmm.
but there's something pretty significant tied to what those years mean, and so it's all connected to feeling like it's time
Mm.
for us to kind of flip literally um what our record looked like, what we like postseason opportunities, all that stuff. So excited for this year. I think it'll be a fun group to coach. Again, talked about kind of the makeup of the roster, but
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be a really fun group to coach in the ways that we want to do things this year. Not a huge shift. Defensively, we've got some fun things in store. And that stuff is always fun to coach because defense is all just energy and just kind of some passion and stuff. My assistant, Coach Dixon, he calls the dogs. He starts barking and stuff like that when it gets a little disruptive. So we want to hear a lot of that this year. Um, and so we are super excited. Super excited. I think the kids are. The special thing about again D2 kids is we can't do anything with them over the summer. So we
Mm-hmm.
are literally it's on them to get in the gym. We send them home with stuff, but it's on them to get in the gym, get in the weight room, find some hoop, and kind of get out there, get some runs in, that kind of stuff. So they come back, and the work kind of shows itself that they've done over the summer. And so a lot of conversations I've had with players over the course of the summer is just that. I've had coaches call me, high school coaches from
Mm-hmm.
back in their hometowns, and they're coach. She's working. She's in here every day. So that's all. That's really exciting to hear, and so it only heightens my excitement for the year because we got a good group of players that I think are ready um, to win games, to find success, and to know they earned every bit of it. I think will
Mm-hmm.
be really cool for them to know they went through the grind of it and
Mm-hmm.
are we'll see some. It's time to see some fruits of our labor. So excited for that.
All right. So, two quick questions.
Okay.
Well, one might not be a question, more of a request.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I'll call it that one. So, first one is a question.
Okay.
So, um, pretend this is a Zoom call. I'm walking into my senior year. Like, coach, why should I come play for you?
So obviously we've seen you play and are a
Mm-hmm.
huge fan of your basketball game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's come to PBA and get every good thing that you wish for, pray for, hope for as a student athlete. Like we've got just kind of the perfect system set up, both on and off the court, for you to come thrive on our campus. We are obviously we see what you can do with a ball in your hands. We want you to come do exactly that. And then we're going to get on the court and work with you and help continue to develop your game. We're going to have a good time. We always do. But understand there's work behind it. I'm the type of person that wants to earn every good thing that's coming my way. And so said all want you to get all that stuff that maybe is in your head of like here are things I want to do. Come earn it. Come earn it. Come do the work every single day to earn it. Now, the cheat code for us down here is that it's West Palm Beach, Florida. We're a mile and a half from the beach, the ocean. And so it's sunshine, 70 to 80 degrees every day. So there are no bad days here. Because if there is, all you got to do is walk outside and go across the bridge, go stick your toes in the sand for a little bit, and then all
Yeah.
of that goes away. So you getting it all down here. Just an unbelievable environment. Basketball is getting ready to pop. We're like a volcano, and we're ready to kind of explode. just in a really cool way, and want you to come be a part of it, and have fun by the beach, get an amazing education, and just be
Hmm.
surrounded by just really good people, really good energy, that's gonna help you thrive, during your time here.
Mm. That was a good pitch. I like that. You
The beach,
you
man.
should
I'm
get paid to
telling.
do that.
If kids come to campus, that part
Hmm.
sells itself. We just got to get them to campus, and then we walk outside a little bit, and it sells itself. It sells itself.
I'm sure it does. It's not too hard to convince people to come down to the beach, so I'm pretty sure it does. All right. Last thing. It's more of a request.
Okay.
Can you give us one of your most famous or infamous corny jokes that you have for your players?
Let's see. Let me find one that's appropriate. Um,
Yeah, please, please.
and look now, I've got one of my moms, and we're in a one of my players, her mom, we're in a group chat, and that's all we do is send jokes back and forth. Since we are I got to tell maybe a faith-based joke. How about that? Since we
Okay.
made those are appropriate, I'll do that one. Because I got two that I'll tell this one. I'll ask this one first. Why um why can't Jesus wear jewelry?
Hmm. Why?
Because he breaks every chain.
Oh man. Oh man. Oh man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's that kind of content. It's
Oh man.
it's that kind of content, all the time, all the time, all the time.
So now I'm interested to see like what the group chat is looking like
Oh
and
gosh,
what the jokes are like now,
they
because
don't
that
laugh
was
enough. What if somebody comes in? I just need some energy, somebody to laugh at it, and then you already know it keeps going, it keeps going. So yeah.
so now I'm interested to hear what the non-edited versions are because I'm
Let's
pretty sure
see.
that's just like,
And
oh
now
man.
here's one from maybe today. What do you call um what do you call a pudgy psychic?
Hmm. What?
A fortune teller. Fortune.
Oh. Well, that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, here's last one because this one's a good one too. Um, what does a ninja like to drink most? What does a ninja like to drink most?
What?
What?
All right, we're done. We're done. We're done. That's a wrap. Oh man.
There we go. There we go.
We're done, ladies and gentlemen. That's the end of this episode. Oh man. That was okay.
Keep them in the vault. You can reuse them.
Uh, I don't know if people will be using that one, but
One more, and I promise I'm done.
whew,
What
okay.
what what does a DJ like to put on their pizza?
What?
Marinara. I'm done now. That's all I'm giving. That's all I'm giving.
I'm going home.
Oh
We're
man.
done here. We're done here. Okay. Wow. We're done here. Whew. I'm all out of focus now. Hold on. Let me get this straight. Man. It's definitely time to go now. My camera all out of focus now. This is oh
Good
well,
stuff.
yeah. I don't even know how to end it, but we're done. Oh man.
Nope,
Oh.
I'll say this to you. Thank you for having me. I am a fan. I told you I follow on social, and you've had conversations with some of my favorite little ballers, and interact with them. They know who they are. But so always love, like I said to you before, just kind of having cool conversations that surround growing the game, just authentic convo. So I'm a fan of your platform, and am excited to see you keep growing and impacting in the way that you do, and we'll definitely be tuned in.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for coming on, taking time to, do this. Like you just said, you had a busy last month, so you didn't have to take time to do this. You could have been doing whatever. So I truly do appreciate it. And it was a really good conversation and talk until like the last maybe 5 minutes. Nah, that it was good, man. So I really do appreciate it. Like seriously, it means a lot to me. So I never take it lightly. I never try to, act like I deserve it or anything. I'm entitled to it or nothing. So I really do appreciate it when anybody takes time to do this
Very
because you didn't
cool.
have to,
Yeah,
So yeah, I appreciate it a lot.
for
So
sure.
anything else you want to leave the people with besides any more jokes?
Well, no more jokes. So no, nothing else. I am. I'm excited to. Um, I know we talked about our season and stuff like that. So that's it. I'll start going and rambling all over again. So, but no, thank you for the opportunity, and to be a part of your platform, and share a little bit. So thank you.
Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That was an episode right there. That was a episode. Um, nah, man. Since you got to this point, I appreciate you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. You might as well subscribe. You feel me? If you watch me on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. It's right there. If your phone, laptop doesn't matter, just subscribe. You feel me? It help me help you. So just do that for me. Like the video, share it with somebody. If you want to give some corny jokes to somebody, like just send them that point in the video. Let them know like just do that for me. Do it for her because I know that'll like make her day. Just let her know. DM her. I'm gonna put social media down below. Like let her know like yo, that joke was amazing and I'm gonna use it for my players. I'm gonna use it for my class or whatever. Or that joke was terrible and you should like retire telling jokes. Let her know how you feel. Like just I'm pretty just open to it. Follow me on social media or don't. It is what it is. My feelings aren't hurt. Just do what you do. At BeBall Jones, it's BeBall Jones. If you do, I appreciate it. But if not, it's all good. Do what you do. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or X. I'm trying to be respectful of Elon. I respect him. He's a genius, but I don't know about the X thing. I
Okay.
gotta do my research. Threads, I'm on there a little bit doing my thing. What a social media platform? TikTok. I think I said that. Whatever. Just type in B-Ball Jones. I'm pretty sure I can pop up. Like I did that on purpose. Follow her on social media. She's a great coach. She has a heart for the players. Wish her well this season. Go visit her and be like, yo, I saw you on the B-Ball Jones podcast. You were amazing, and it was fun to watch you. So show her some love. Let her know how great she was, and that's it. I don't have anything else to add here. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. It means a lot. I appreciate it. Like seriously. And then whatever other folks they say on their podcast and YouTube stuff, do that for me too. Just act like I said it and then just do it because I freestyle stuff at the end. I probably should write it down, but I don't like to. So just bear with me here. Pretend I said it and then do it for me. If you do, I appreciate it. But that's it. I'm just kind of rambling right now. But that's it. Appreciate you. See you next week.